Welcome to CYS 526. The name of this lecture is Know Yourself, Know Your Enemy. It's an ancient saying by Sun Tzu, known as a military leader and a strategist. So the purpose of this lecture is introduction overview of Capture the Flag. What we'll cover in this lecture is what is really Capture the Flag, why actually deal with it, different types, a strategy, and then additional resources. So what is Capture the Flag? Some of you perhaps are familiar with the practice by the nature of different activities that you take. It could be through gaming. So if you play games like Unreal and some of the new iterations of game consoles and so on, they have Capture the Flag. The premise is that each team has a flag, and the job of each team is to defend their own flag and then try to capture any other team's flag successfully. So with this premise, there's also the same practice applied in sports. I remember like American Gladiators from back in the day. The goal was to capture a specific flag and don't get hit. And of course, there is a military application. One of the resources that can be really helpful for getting familiar with Capture the Flag, understanding calendar of events when they happen, and getting additional resources is CTF Time. The National Cyber League is another great resource. It's more academically oriented. There's a built-in curriculum and potential application for coaching and professional development opportunities. There is a preparation phase where you get together with a team, and actually Excelsior College has a team of learners who collaborate, communicate, and prepare for National Cyber League. There's different levels of difficulty, so you can start as the, let's say, beginner phase. It could be the bronze, silver, gold, and then you build, kind of gradually based on your level of understanding. You compete against other higher ed institutions. It's a great environment, and what they do is they try to prepare, they help you with lessons learned, and provide some reports on how you did on the activities individually and then as a team. So great resource. If you're interested, contact your faculty or the program director. So why Capture the Flag? Well, in a nutshell, it helps us to apply the different theoretical concepts and the book knowledge into real world experience. We get to practice what we actually read and exercise on a weekly basis. We gain the hands-on experience. So if you're changing careers or trying to break into the security field, what a great attestation to prove that you just don't just write a paper on what Nmap is, but you can demonstrate that you know how to use Nmap and apply it adequately in the course of the daily activities of a security professional. We engage your critical thinking. We allow you to work in a sandbox environment where you can apply ethical hacking legally and, of course, ethically. We help you validate the skills that you have or help you identify gaps in your knowledge and help you kind of seek opportunities for professional and academic growth. It also allows you to have fun, challenge yourself, and be a little competitive with your comrades. So it also, last but not least, helps us get into the next level of cognitive learning. So it's not just understanding, what tool to use, when to use it, but also how to properly use it and why is it that we are using the tool a certain way to drive a specific outcome or achieve a deliverable. There are different types of Capture the Flag. The ones that we will apply in this course are attack and defend. They're dynamic in nature and adaptable. based on the knowledge, experience, skill level, and the composition of the different teams that are involved. There's a set number of vulnerabilities, which could be, SQL injection, and they are marked in the form of a flag. So the flag could be one per service or one per system, is a numeric value. It's a unique hash, usually MD5 or SHA hash, that you have to acquire, protect. What we're doing with this type of capture the flag is we're combining several different activities. You have to attack to capture new flags. You need to defend your own flag and the newly captured flags. At the same time, you need to maintain different operations. The attackers you're defending against are the other teams. And this kind of makes it dynamic. So you have to do several activities at the same time. You got the offense, the defense, the sustaining what you have, and that's what makes it so dynamic and interesting. It simulates real-world scenarios and day-to-day activities, typically what a security professional would experience. Now, Jeopardy has another type. The Jeopardy is very static. You're given a specific exercise like a log review. In the log review, the objective is to identify the actual source of the attack. You identify it and you get points. They're not as competitive. They're very static. You go at your own pace, and they're good for introductory level. Okay, they're good things at kind of continuing your education. Some examples are Hack the Site and Root Me. And what you're doing in those, you go into your own pace, you can gradually increase the level of complexity, but they're not challenging, they're not dynamic, you're not competing against somebody else, you're not challenged the same way that you are with the attack and defense. Now there's kind of in the middle type of a capture the flag, and that's the boot to root. So the boot to root, you have typically an attack component that you have to identify vulnerable services and, for example, gain access to the system, typically root or administrator level access. For this type of an exercise, it allows you to build like a home lab, set up a virtual machine, and practice at your own pace. You can use a shared virtual machine, which is what we'll be doing, and compete against your colleagues in the course. So the boot to root is individual basis. The attack and defend is taking the boot to root and then combining the interaction of multiple teams. One resource that's very good for this purpose is VulnHub, and VulnHub will allow us to actually prepare an environment, how to set up the virtualization, download the actual virtual machines, and they also provide tutorials on how to achieve the objectives in the virtual machines. It's all community based, so once someone downloads a vulnerable machine, they have the ability to write a walkthrough. And it could be a video tutorial or a write-up tutorial, and they show their way of achieving the objective of the particular vulnerable machine and boot to root challenge, which is very helpful. So understand their way of thinking. We talk about strategy. So when you're doing capture the flag in a team environment, there are different factors you need to consider. So think of it as a great escape room. So it's a putting pieces of the puzzle together, and you have different team members and resources that you need to rely on to drive certain objectives and help you out work on that. So you're going to be attacking and defending. You need to understand who's going to do what, when, how, where. You need to communicate, collaborate, divide and conquer some responsibilities. You need to determine what tools and techniques you'll be used, and you got to be flexible and adaptive. You bend, but don't break. And then some additional resources. I already mentioned Vulnerability Hub, and then the Mind Map. Mind Map, it's kind of an interesting resource. So what's happening here is, if we look in, what we'll find out is that this mind map provides a breakdown of different capture the flag boot to root challenges. And you can look into, let's say that you're interested in web application security. You'd like to kind of improve your skills in identifying SQL injection. So this mind map will tell you like which challenges, which resources are adequate to help you achieve that goal. And then tell, there's different levels, here are the actual ISO files, and if you want to do exploit exercises and so on. So it kind of gives you that. If you notice on the right here, I see VulnHub as one of the resources. So a great resource to further your learning opportunities.